Greeting once more, fellow tubers. 'Tis I, Garradine. I'm alive. Been floating around. I know my last few projects have stopped suddenly and completely for reasons. Mainly me being lazy, but behold, this is the baby I've sunk some 60 hours into already. Welcome to Stellaris. We are in Heinlein 132 with the Leviathan Story Pack, and this is the pilot episode where I'm going to create a new species and then we're going to hopefully take it to rule the stars. Probably not, but here's hoping. Now, I've had this idea bouncing around in my head about a interesting species of mushroom peoples. However, I don't know what our actual look is going to be. So, let's go through them, shall we? We have this weird puffball with legs. Okay. We have this thing, which is something out of nightmares. Looks like it infected some beastie and is walking it around, which is quite an interesting idea, actually. We have a potato. This actually reminds me kind of those, I don't know what they're called, the Halo Engineers. The weird floating gas sacks. Then we have this vaguely phallic-shaped, unfortunate soul. I feel sorry for you. I'm not going to choose you. We have a tumor. We have this thing, which looks strangely, vaguely, like a real race. Has a mouth and everything. I'm not entirely sure what to make of that. Looks kind of like a skull. And we have you. Interesting. We have a lot of these seem to have developed mouth parts and eyeballs, which I find strange for a walking pile of fungus. But who am I to question galactic diversity? You have a very interesting head crest. This thing, which looks like it would be more at home in the avian, under the avian subset. But, interesting. We have Waddle Dee here, with little slimy tentacle things. We have a very generic mushroom. Looks like Fly Amanita, which I might choose. Hi, Toadstool. I'm not even going to comment on you. You just look all sorts of creepy and evil. Some sort of, I don't know. It looks like it's some sort of poor unfortunate soul that is slowly being consumed. And then there's these weird things. Yeah, we're gonna be the big bulbous mushroom thing. Because why not? Species name. We are going to be the Dycelli. Book. Yeah, Dycelli is also a proper plural for it. I actually got this name from bouncing cordyceps around my head for a while. Not entirely sure about doing a biography. Probably won't. It might end up coming in later, as this is the pilot episode. If I do make one, I will give the biography of my species at the start of next episode. Now, the name lists will, of course, be some sort of fungoid list thing. I really don't want those. Disseminables, stellar clusters. It's going to be this one. Other people are going to have really hard to pronounce names, which I'm fine with. Our traits. Now, this is where things get interesting. Being a fungus, we live off of things. As such, we are weak. So very weak. But we are communal, being a collection of things. I would say we are rapid breeders. And what else? What else? We are resilient. As most people know, once you have a mold, it's kind of hard to get rid of it without tearing the ever-loving shit out of stuff. So, there we go. Weak, but resilient. That's kind of interesting. Now, our ruler will be some unpronounceable name. I think those are V's. Those have got to be V's. Ooh, we could choose our color. Oh my goodness, we're all the variations of Toadstool. I want to be the purple mushroom because death. Too bad there weren't any green. We live on a tropical world, of course. Because fungus. We like nice, wet environments. Our homeworld name is Menjus. I like that one. Menjusana. That's a fun name to say. City of parents, of course, will be fungoid. Because fungus. Now, this is the interesting part, because I have an inkling, but I'm not entirely sure. I know we are pacifist and spiritualist to some degree. However, I'm not entirely sure which direction as far as we will go. Not entirely sure about materialist. Nor collectivist. I know we're not individualist. We wouldn't be xenophobic. Because, well, the more people we have, the more substance to feed on. We must increase our biomass. But we are peaceful. We slowly creep in. We don't smash down doors. I think... yes, we'll go a little bit xenophile. Now. A peaceful bureaucracy. Oh, that's right, pacifist. So, shall we be a democracy, an oligarchy, or a monarchy? That is actually a very difficult question, because I'm not entirely sure. I've never really taken a pacifist route, so I've never really had these options. Pool size, capacity, and more core sector systems means we can control more systems before needing to split off into a sector, which is nice. Peaceful bureaucracy, which doubles our standing, goodness gracious, and enlightened monarchy, which lowers edict cost, increases duration, and the same Core System Plus as the diplomacy, as the democracy option. Interesting. Now, we will be role-playing this race to the best of our ability. In our actions, in our research. So we will not really be researching many weapon technologies. Not unless threatened. I'll say a peaceful bureaucracy. Now, for our name, I didn't really think of one. Let's see what the dice says. The Dycelli Republican Systems. Again, the Foundation. Yes, we will be the Dycelli Foundation. Now, for flag, we want nice rounded shapes, being a relatively rounded fungus. So, we got a few good choices. We could be a Sharingan. Nah. There's nothing in this one that stands out to me as particularly fungoid, except for maybe that one. Then there's Space Islam, but zoological or various animals. We will probably nothing in pointy that would not. No. How about ornate? There really isn't much of anything that particularly stands out to me as belonging to mushrooms. Not in the slightest. What's under human? Nah. So, this one it is. Our colors will match our body type. Primary of a nice, lovely purple. Secondary of a silvery gray. Let's darken that purple for a little more type. And yes. No, this one. Or this one. No, this one. Yes, that one. Now, starting weapons. We will be projectile weapons. Mainly because with this one it can be stated that we are firing hardened spores at people in an attempt to spread to their ship. Interesting thought, isn't it? Being attacked by mushrooms trying to physically take over your ship. And we will be using hyperspace travel. Because if you guys have ever seen videos on slime molds, how they just sort of spread, yeah, it kind of looks like a hyperlane. So, that's what we're using. Now, for our ship, we will be using these lovely rounded bulbous things. And that is us. That is the Dycelli Foundation. A peaceful bureaucracy of weak, communal, rapid breeding, resilient fungoids. Doesn't that just terrify you? But yeah. And I guess we will go ahead and save the Foundation and we dumpy Dunsky. Now, our galaxy. We will be in a large galaxy. Either elliptical or we will go elliptical. Normal stuffs all the way down, except no clustered starts, no advanced. Well, we go, yeah, advanced neighbors, and Iron Man mode, because if we fuck up, it sticks. No saves coming, because saves coming is for noobs. even though I am technically a noob because I've never made it to the end game, but whatever. But this will probably be a long-running episode. Welcome. In the eons since the first primitive Dycelli communities took shape in the dense jungles of Menjus, our civilization has spread and prospered. Unfortunately, our undisciplined minds were still prone to emotional outbursts that could sometimes lead to violence. As weapons became more deadly with each passing technological age, a complex system of government was devised to protect our citizens from harmful elements, including themselves. Now, after the discovery of the Hyperlane network, the finest minds of the Dycelli Foundation have finished development of the first hyperdrives. The stars themselves are finally for our spread, within our grasp. Yada yada yada. Begin! So, where do we start? We start in a... Goodness gracious, you have a lot of moons. But we start in a rather simple system. Starting a K-class star. Not bad. But the thing is, where do we start on the galactic scale? Way off, near one of the edges. Which is fine with me. If we can lock off these two parts, we might be able to claim this entire little area as my own. Which is what I hope to do. I am intrigued at how there's these gaps all over the place, especially this one right here. Goodness gracious, that's a big hole in the galaxy. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get rid of all of these, and we will select our first... Oh, I didn't change that. Oh well. Well, darn. Well, looks like that's sticking around. That's unfortunate. But hey, welcome to off-the-cuff recording. So, who do we have? Our leader is Coordinator Sevabov Uviliv, who is a champion of the people and has deep connections. Alrighty then. Yeah, that's going to be edited out. Was not expecting someone to pop up like that. But, yeah. So, we will also check our leaders. We have Governor Adad Uvihavlin, who is an intellectual fungus and is of the magenta variety. Interesting, the spores appear to be of different colors. Avava Uvi Averfin. It's gonna be so fun saying these names. Is our scientist out and about, who's careful, which I'm perfectly fine with. We have, my goodness, a maniacal, a genius, and someone who's gonna live forever, leading our 3 researchers. Okay then, so let's take a look at said researchers. What do we got? Starting with physics. We are a relatively peaceful race. None of these options would go towards either no rule direction. Being somewhat spiritual, we might shy away from the playing God aspect of the AI. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump straight to a Betharian power plant number 2. Because why not? Navbad Uviwadiv, our spark of our genius. Oh wow, already a symbol of unity. No. We must spread our spores to other worlds. To bring peace to all who inhabit this galaxy. And finally, Iv Uvi Ravad, our maniac. And immediately we have 2 combat options, which is no and no, unfortunately. So we're kind of stuck going with an engineering facility for role-playing purposes, which I'm perfectly fine with, because it's going to make a really interesting thing. And there we go. Everything is set up. And next episode, we will unpause it and send our science ship, the Vina Abib. Oh, it's so fun saying these things. We'll send him on his first exploration around the Menjusana system. Until then, enjoy.